Hello and welcome to Factorio. I'm starting a new game. I'm not sure exactly how this game will go, but I have some ideas. Alright, so I'm changing some of the default settings, so let me explain. Basically, I want iron ore, copper ore, well, I want everything to be lower frequency than normal, and stone I want a little higher, crude oil I want a little higher because those can sometimes be a bit annoying. Enemy bases I want a little higher so that I'm not making it too easy on myself. The size of the deposits, I want them medium on everything except the starting area I want very big, so I have a nice little area to get started in. And stone I want big because I want to have a lot of stone available. Richness, I'm making everything very good except for coal and crude oil because they don't need to be very good, so I'll just make them good. And enemy bases I'm going to make regular. So I tried to not mess with enemy bases too much, except that their frequency is going to be a bit lower than normal. I'm not going to make them peaceful. I'm going to make everything random and everything, and hopefully this works out nicely. Ah yes, tips and tricks. Yes, I always leave those on to start with, but then forget about them. And I'm not going to... Oh yes, of course, I need to make a iron axe. But yes, from here on out, everything will be sped up by 4 times, and I will do post commentary on what I am doing. And as you can see here, I'm just mining stone and looking around and noticing that there's quite a bit of stone around, which is why after mining this copper for a couple seconds... Alright, I'm going to try with these settings. I start over. So yeah, this time I started out with a big thing of copper right next to where I started, but nothing else around until, oh, okay, so some coal down here, so that's good. I decided that I'm going to go ahead and start up a miner there and try and get that going, and just get a whole bunch of coal to start with, just so I have a nice batch with me. I realized later on that I should have just made like a wooden chest and put that down and have coal automatically going, but first I wasted an entire pick mining and setting up a miner and just like picking up the coal as it generates, as it mines, and then I pick it up and take it with me. And I continue exploring because all I found is copper and coal, but what I need most right now is some iron, and there's very thick forest that I'm going through, and lots of trees, and it's dark at night. So let me talk about what my idea with this series is. First of all, doing it at this kind of fast-forwarded pace because hopefully that will be more entertaining, because this game can be rather slow, and if there's nothing to talk about and I'm just sitting there not talking about anything for a long time, then nothing much of interest happens. So the idea I'm going to do with this is of course sped up, and there we go, just found some iron, so that's good. Fortunately it's not too far away. Of course it was almost the last place I checked for anything, so that kind of sucked. Oh yeah, and I'm really stubborn about if I started picking something and then the pick breaks, about finishing it, which is why I finished that even though it was really slow, and cut down a tree and then realized I need to make an axe. And yeah, I decided, okay, I need to get some wood to make a chest, and this is where I went, oh wait, that would be a good idea to just put a chest down and have it going directly into the chest. So I'm setting up my burner drill and setting up some stuff with iron here, and then I'm thinking to myself, I probably should take some of this coal and set up a drill back at the coal, or maybe I'm not thinking that yet. I head over here first. But yeah, the idea with this, oh yeah, I needed copper. Why did I need copper? Probably to make the burner drill or something, I don't know. In any case, oh yes, I need stone, so I start heading up because I knew I found some stone up here on the map, and what am I doing? I'm just mining stone, yes, of course. Oh, I probably had to make another pick. No, I didn't. Yes, I did? No, I don't. Why did I put... Yeah, I decided to put a burner drill up there on the stone first. I don't know why I went so long without, like, setting up coal stuff properly, because I don't know what I was thinking, but yeah, so the concept with this game is because the settings are set up to make things spawn more rarely, but more abundantly when they do spawn, the idea is to set up a series of like interconnected towns, like different towns or cities or whatever you could say that are named a different thing, and they are all connected by railroad. Of course, to get started, I need to research up to the point of having railroads, or else I can't really connect them. So yeah, I finally got smart enough to connect things up with boxes, but I'm going to mine a bit of coal because I decided I wanted to hurry up and go as quickly as I can. I couldn't think of a way to go faster than to mine my own coal a little bit there. And then I'm going to head back up towards the copper and I believe get it started. Oh yes, I'm going to stop for this little bit of stone that I just found there. And yeah, so like I said, I'm going to get up to railroads in research done first, and then I will start building out railroads connecting different little towns. I've never done railroads in this game though, so if things go badly, if I fail a lot at the railroads once we get to that point, then that would be the reason why. So yeah, most of this episode is running back and forth between these different areas, you know, getting coal, keeping the burner drill going, getting iron, keeping the iron going, and getting copper and keeping the copper going. So yeah, it's a lot of running back and forth, unfortunately. But yes, that has run out of fuel in the meantime. And this idea, I forgot, yes, okay, so this idea, oh yes, I decide what is the research I'm going to do. I decided eventually that I believe logistics was, oh no, not logistics, automation was the best first step, because I need that to get, what are they called? Automated thingies? I forget what they're called. The assemblers. And this idea, I stole it. I completely stole it. So this concept of doing like a series of Factorio where you have towns set up and connect them by railway, I forget the name of the YouTuber, but basically I had the idea to do this because I saw another YouTuber doing it. And yes, I'm going to flat out just say, yes, I saw a YouTuber doing this idea and I thought, that's pretty cool. I'm going to do that. Or at least I'm going to try it. If you never see another episode of this, well, I guess I just decided not to. I don't know. But in any case, yes, I decided the sooner we get electric power, the better. And I started building those down there, and then I looked at the mini-map and went, wait a second, I should be building straight across up here, because down there, there's water in the way, so that's kind of dumb of me. But yeah, I decide that I'm going to, as quickly as I can, move things over to electricity, so I come over here to where the iron is, and I go ahead and set up an electric mining drill down next to it. Oh wait, no, I didn't set it up. I decided to wait for it to run out of fuel, and then set it up in that top corner, and just put it back into a box again, and then head over here. You notice there's a little bit of, whatchamacallit, oil there that I just kind of, well, obviously I'm ignoring for now because I don't have any capability of processing it, but I head back over to the coal, get it going a little bit more, get some more coal, and I start carving a little path through here as I go through here, partially to carve a path, partially just to get some wood. I don't think I ended up even using this path or this one, but I decided, you know, hey, if nothing else, it'll give me a little more wood, which will be useful. And going up to the copper and getting it going with some more resources, more coal to keep mining, and I start crafting a bunch of power cables because I decide it's time to hook it up. And I apologize for the darkness, but that is what happens when it's nighttime. And yeah, I decide to come back through here and cut some of the trees down. And oh yeah, I was starting to go like right past the copper because it was so close. Oh yes, and I shoot this rock. I completely empty every bit of ammo I had on it, and then I needed to fire one more bullet from a new clip in order to get it out of the way, which kind of sucked, but oh well. And of course that leaves me kind of dangerously low on ammo right now, but I haven't even seen where enemies are on the minimap yet, so I'm not too worried about it. Get some more coal into the power there, and yes, lots of iron being mined, but not a lot of it being cooked up. So because I didn't think to go ahead and set that up automated yet, I'm just like running stuff back and forth and trying to decide what to do. And I started to leave, and then I came back and I'm like, I should make this work a bit better. Ah yes, there we go. This is where I decided, hey, wait a second, why am I not automating this? I should automate this. And then I also start building as many transport belts as I can because I want to get that stuff obviously to the new area. And I take down that other furnace and make sure everything's set up nicely. Of course, this is as far as I can go. Well, I made a little more, and that's that. And I come back down here, and I'm like, I need more iron. I need more iron. So I run along the belt to get more iron and head back up. And now I'm going to go set up the same sort of semi-automated processing at the coal place, which has kind of, well, it hasn't run out of fuel, so I put in a little more coal there for it to burn up the last in that upper furnace, and I set up a tiny one. And at first I was going to set up a transport belt, but then I realized the copper area is sort of where I'm going to build like my first little like city area anyhow, so there was no point in trying to transport belt it away when I could just use what's it called? A wooden chest to store things. And of course now I'm heading back over to the copper to start. I forget if I started belting it now or, oh yes, I came down here and I started building a little bit of lines there, and I started building power lines, and obviously I don't have a miner down there yet, and I don't think I have enough power lines either. Yeah, so I run out right there. but I picked up a bit more coal. Oh yes, I make more power lines. I decide I'm going to go ahead and set up the power while I'm coming back, and then go up from here. And yes, this time I carve another path through, and this time I actually do use the path. And I basically just want to come and connect to where, where the copper line came out. Yeah, lots of trees to go through here. I'm trying to remember what I did next. Oh yes, I didn't like how this like overlapped in a weird way, so I kind of rearranged it slightly. And I think I decided to go up. Oh yeah, check that. See, I gotta make sure, because I don't have automated coal going to the boiler yet, I have to make sure I check the boiler very, very often, because the boiler will run out of fuel very quickly. The boilers do use a lot of fuel, and they use it pretty quickly. You can see I made a good deal of transport pipes there. I mean, transport pipes? No, transport belts. And so I got the iron almost going all the way into like where the main base is going to be. Now, like the other series, oh yes, this is, I set up another furnace for the iron, because I decided we weren't getting iron fast enough, and I initially screwed it up and almost had to take out a power line, so I just changed where that was. I decided to sit there and scoop things up for a little while because I'm silly like that. But yeah. And I completely forgot what I was going to say next because I got interrupted, which sucks, especially because in the middle of doing like a post commentary while watching back what I was doing, that's kind of like the worst time to get interrupted. But oh well, yeah, going back and scooping up a ton of iron because just never enough iron. But essentially, I'm trying to bring things together so I can start automating things a bit better. The main thing is that like I'm trying not to expand too quickly, because for one thing, everything is really spread out, and I don't want to like get all the biters and things horribly mad at me. And the other reason is I don't want to build up a massive complex and then have to tear it down to do the whole towns thing. And so right now I'm trying to kind of get things going, get things working, get up to rails as quickly as possible, but without doing too much else, because I want like each of these little places to become their own place. Like this place where I'm mining coal will become its own little thing that will send out trains full of coal to the main base. Well, the main base that won't always be the main base, but it'll be for a little while. And then there's going to be another train coming from where the iron is up to the main base also. And you know, then I will expand out as needed, and I really don't want to start getting too industrious until I have like that first place set up, and I have, you know, these two other places kind of set up to railroad stuff to the main base place. And I've already decided what I'm going to name the first one. Oh yes, I'm building up a power up to the stone area now, because I decided, well, everything else is running on power now. I might as well go up there and get it also running on power. Even though I'm not using stone much yet, I don't have a use for it just yet. I will be using it to make concrete floors in bases, and actually, now that I think about it, I should have stone floors in bases, concrete roads between bases, and then concrete names of bases. Basically, I'm going to do, like I said, I am copying the general idea for this series from someone else, and he does like naming the places, and he writes it out in stone on the ground, which I think is a pretty cool idea, and I want to do that. And yes, I started a lab, and I finally actually started researching automation, which I set up like a long time ago, but didn't actually start researching. And of course, the moment I put the lab down, I didn't have enough power, so I added a bunch of boilers and added a second steam engine. Now I know that that's more boilers than I need, but my idea is that I want to well, this is another thing, I forget if I'm stealing that idea from him or from someone else, but someone else was like, oh yeah, so what I do is I just set up 5 boilers and then 5 steam engines, and it may not be the most efficient, but it works. And yeah, I'm going to set up a radar as well. I also restocked my ammo? No, I haven't yet. I know I did at some point during this, and I'm trying to decide what to research next, and I decided to go for steel processing because, like I said, my big goal right now is railway, and in order to get a railway, one of the things I'll need is steel processing. So I'm setting that up, and I'm also doing a bunch of belts, and I'm going to continue working on this belt line coming up from the coal, because we want to have as many things belted up to the main area as we can. That is until I get, until I get railroad, in which case that'll all be replaced with a railroad, which I can't wait for that to happen, because that'll be cool, and also because I'm sure I'll screw it up massively, because I've never used the railroads before, other than the very first time I played it. I researched up till I got to railroads, and then I built some to play around with it and try and figure it out, and I never really figured it out. So yeah, I'm just kind of manually creating science packs to go and do the steel processing. Meanwhile, I'm going up here to check on this, because I didn't realize that that was all fine and dandy and needed to work by itself. Meanwhile, I got to start the next research, which I decided I'll go for logistics, partially because it'll actually be useful, partially because it's the next thing I need to do, you know, one of the things I need to do to get to trains. And so for a while, I just sat there and focused on researching. But I'm going to cut that out because that's boring. So after that, I went down and continued to work on the transport belts for the coal, crisscrossing back and forth. I think I accidentally like built one almost into a power line at some point. I think I'm about to do that. Like, nope, not right there. Nope, I stopped again. Okay. Oh yeah, so I stopped again there, went up back along the line, went to go check on the boilers, refuel the 2 that are in use. The other ones aren't even being used because we only need 2 right now. Picked up some more iron and then went right back down here while building transport belts the whole time, and continued work on this some more, and then at this point stopped again and then went over here and got rid of the old thing. And yep, lots of running back and forth, and picked up some more copper. And I believe, nope, we're not there yet. Oh yes, I just finished researching logistics, and so I'm like, oh okay, I'll do this, I'll research the yeah, I didn't decide to do it right then because I like misread something or didn't quite see it right or something, so I was like, oh, I don't know what to do now. I'm just kind of lost. I'm going to build more belts, and I'm going to go back over here and continue belting the coal up. And then at this point, I had noticed that I screwed up right there, so I had to move it 1 lower and then continue up, and then the nice easy part where it's just going straight up, and I stopped there, and I'm like, that's close enough for now. I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to worry about automation. So I come over here, get more iron, build a assembler, and then pick up a little more iron and build a second assembler. And this first one is going to be making gears, because we need gears for Science Pack 1s. And then I'm going to build a second one that's going to actually build the second, build the Science Pack 1s. And at first I was thinking I was going to belt the copper over, but then I decided what I'd do is I'd just pick up a wooden chest and have a inserter inserting the copper from the wooden chest into it. I'd have it also automatically insert into the science area, and I just moved the copper and gears into that wooden chest, and now we have semi-automated science, at least for the red science levels. And there we go. Everything's set up nicely. And that's it for this episode. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Give me any ideas, recommendations for both how I could play the game or how I could record this better. And yes, I set up a splitter right there at the very end so that we could have some of the iron kept, because I noticed all of it was going to gears. See you in space.